Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Frank, and I'm here to tell you about my new Instagram TV series, Outrageous. The premise of Outrageous is simple. I report on the latest cultural rage or the latest cultural outrage happening around us at the moment. Get it? It's called Outrageous. Outrage, rage, it's two different words, but they're in the same word. Anyway, sometimes I talk about something I hate, sometimes I talk about something I love, but it's always on every Monday on Instagram at The Nothing Pod, or on Facebook at The Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important.
You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you are listening to the Nothing Podcast
With Nobody Important.
And
we're both sick.
Wonderful, wonderful. We sound really great.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of giving you a blanket so you'll hear why we're coughing and wheezing throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop us.
No.
Nope.
I think the most interesting man in the world was here.
Yeah, I mean, when we brought in this week's guest, I did not expect the stories that we got out of him. Mm-mm. So, why don't you give a quick background? Because we talk about it in the episode.
Yeah.
Just a quick idea of where we got this fella from.
He owns a bagel store on my corner.
Great. Now, this you would think is the conceit of our whole show.
Yeah.
We want the guy from the deli.
But he's not just the guy from the deli.
No way.
That's like saying, I'm just my pinky. Right? You're drinking ginger ale?
It's similar to saying,
gonna throw up?
I'm just like my pinky.
Yeah. So, by trade, he's a lot of things, but one of them, he's a cartographer.
Right, which means he does maps.
He makes maps.
Yeah. And so he has traveled the world, and I don't want to spoil it for you,
Yeah.
but he has traveled all over the world, the country. He's seen a lot of things.
He's seen more things than we'll ever see.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
He's worked a million different careers, and you know what? He was just fascinating across the board.
And he teaches you what to do if you get caught in a sinkhole in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, which is great, because I did last week. So, program your GPS.
Let your Greek flag fly.
Plant the spears outside your home.
And somebody drive us to the doctor, because we're really fading fast.
Oh, God, please. Welcome this week's guest.
I'm Steven Statt, Highway Transportation Specialist, Department of Transportation, New York City.
Okay, so I know our guest name is Steve.
Yep.
It should be Jack. He's a jack of all trades.
Master of all of them.
I guess. Master of all of them?
All of them.
Oh, there you
Wow.
go. Very good. Yeah.
So Steve is a cartographer, is how I... Okay.
Yes, tell us the story here.
Okay,
We
there's a
will
long
talk
story.
to you at some point, Steve. Frank, please tell us.
They have to know who you are before you actually say who you are. So there's a bagel store on my corner that Steve owns. So I was in there.
Is it true? Chime in every once in a while. Is that true?
It's very true.
Favorite
Okay.
bagel topping?
Butter and jam.
Oh, you communist.
I like that.
Be simple.
So I was talking with him, and he has on a Department of Transportation windbreaker, right? So I said, and he said something about we're installing some speed cameras over here. I said, but what are you talking about? You're the bagel guy, right?
Right.
You give me a discount on the ham sandwich, which you did.
Do you give him a discount?
Yeah,
on
he
the
has.
ham
I do.
sandwich? Okay,
I
good.
always
So
take care of friends.
I don't understand. And he goes, oh, you don't know? And then Pandora's box exploded
we
in
are.
my face, and here we are. So he goes, I didn't start out here. It's only a little thing I do. I work for the city, work for the mayor sometimes, which you'll get into, and I'm a cartographer by trade. Now, for our listeners with lower IQs, that's
Are
not
less educated.
That's not a heart doctor.
Basically,
That's so all of our listeners.
Right.
Right. What
Right.
you're saying.
insult the listener. Basically, spell it out for Matt. Is what we're
Matt, a cartographer, is a map maker.
Ah.
saying. Yes.
Right.
I thought it was a carton specialist.
Good going. Good going.
So Steve had a crazy story, which is why I was like, hey, do you listen to podcasts? I need you. Which I'm not even going to say. That's all you. But I want to ask you, as a cartographer, did you go to school in the Renaissance?
I did. The Greek Renaissance.
Okay, the Greek Renaissance. He's also Greek. All right. That's all I had to say.
So, my question that I have to present to you right off the bat: why maps? Are you interested in that? I mean, clearly you're interested in it now. Where did the interest come from?
To be honest with you, I was at Radford University in Virginia studying biology to becoming an orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
My fraternity advisor noticed the work that I did in labs, and he had heard about me, and he was like, do you mind staying an extra few years and picking up a technical geography degree? Didn't know what that was.
Okay.
I was like...
Did they pay for it? Because when someone says to me, do you mind staying? It makes me think you're going to pay.
They didn't pay for it because the first 4 years I didn't have to pay for anything because I was there on a lacrosse scholarship.
Oh.
Whoa.
So I did biology, played lacrosse.
And then you went lacrosse country.
Then I went fraternity. Then I went fraternity, and our fraternity advisor, who was the chairman of the technical geography department, said, you know what, you have the eye for maybe some satellite imaging products or helping out with the forestry.
What year was this?
1991.
Okay.
So from 87 to 91, I did biology. 91, I got into the geography field. Hence, cartography was a prerequisite to get into the major technical portion of reading satellite data and all that good stuff.
Sure.
But back then, we didn't have computer-aided design like we do today.
Right. I'd say 91 satellite stuff has probably got to be like Moon Man stuff we're talking.
Very popular back then.
Right, yeah.
And I keep telling everybody, there's a company in California called ISRI. It's Environmental Science Institute, which actually has all the software and data for cartography. And they actually get hired by governments around the world to predict problems.
Huh.
So people say, well, cartography, that's nothing anymore. It's still a lot. Because these guys could take cartography and look at a burnt forest or any type of forest and read satellite data and tell you if it's diseased.
Oh,
Whoa.
The satellites
interesting.
could show that.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, but all this turns into maps.
Right,
And everybody's like, oh, cartography is dead. It's not dead. The Defense Mapping Agency of the military still does maps by hand.
Huh.
It's not computer aided.
So was your were yours like midterm in school like find the buried treasure?
Yeah.
Well, medieval cartography is that exactly.
Right, sure.
But remember, back then we didn't think 3-dimensional.
Right.
Back in the medieval times, it was all 2D.
Oh, wait a
So
minute.
everything was flat.
Steve Stat, flat earther. He's coming at you.
Flat Earther, right?
What do you think? Flat Earth? Yes or
Flat
no?
Earth.
Yeah,
Flat Earth.
he knows better. He knows the truth.
Everything's vector based. It's all line drawings now.
There you go. Interesting.
Right. So cartography is still a big thing.
Yeah.
Even though it was a prerequisite for me, I wanted to get into the geographical part of everyday life.
Right.
What do I mean by that? You come to me and you say, you know what? I'd like to create a golf course somewhere.
Right.
What are the requirements? How do you know you can build it? Where? So cartography comes into play again. Because you tell me, you're like, well, I want to be 50 yards from a major road. I want to be 30 yards from a stream. The slope of the hills can't be more than 17 degrees. How do you figure all this out?
Right.
This is a map.
Yeah,
that you have
of
to draw.
course.
So all this goes into this system, geographical information system, and it's supposed to give you an answer.
That's what
Or
maps.
even landfills. Take landfills down south for an example. How does a municipality know where to put a landfill without affecting everybody?
Staten Island.
All these statistics, Staten Island.
Yeah.
Your new golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
Julie's like, one day it's going to be a golf course. The city gives you all this data. We can't be by this house. We got to be so far away from row of condominiums,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
All this data goes into a system.
Huh.
And the system's what gives you the answer.
And you do
And
what?
that's map-based.
You're what, manning the system?
We man the system. So what happens is you have this, take any wall in this room, you have a big digitizing board. We take maps, quadrangles. You know, lat long is a quadrangle on the Earth's surface.
Okay.
We have maps of those lat longs, and we actually digitize those locations. Now the system knows, the Earth sphere and satellites know, that I'm doing work in this quadrangle. Satellites know that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy.
So once all my data goes in, you're either going to get a yes, you could build here, no, you can't. Doesn't meet your requirements.
What?
Wow.
All I think about is the computer robot that screech at
right.
Saved by the
That's
Bell.
great. That's great. Great knowledge, right? Earth's surface, we all know how to do the... Okay, so now maybe you have some big dream in your life. You want to open, I don't know, maybe you like Gap clothing or
Sure,
Navy.
I like Gap. That's
I
fine.
do like
yeah.
Gap.
Okay, so how does Gap or anybody that wants Gap to open somewhere, how do they do it? They're just going to go pick a spot?
I guess not.
You
guess
think
it's
any
map.
cartography or GIS comes into play?
What's a
I'd
GIS?
imagine. But now,
Geographical Information Systems.
so now how much of this crosses into city planning?
Everything.
All of
Because
that.
because now when you take it into a city, now where a gap's going to go, that's all going to be dependent upon the land, but also
The
where
data,
in
you,
the
the,
other
data,
area.
the data that's required.
Right.
All right, maybe a gap can't operate, but it's got to have a population of 6 million people.
Right.
250,000 square blocks. I don't know. It's a big number, but you can put whatever number you want. It says, okay, we could put a gap here.
Right.
But it's all cartography based. Has nothing to do with a business model. It's not a business model. Once you get the location on the Earth's surface, the business model always works.
Right. So what's the difference, would you say, maybe there is no difference, between a cartographer and a land surveyor? So a land surveyor has to go out and actually see what's there versus someone who can use satellites to see what's there?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Damn, John.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, because the violinist
Great.
at my wedding is a land surveyor.
Oh, okay.
The land surveyor is just
Wait, Steve's a cellist.
Oh, wow.
vector based.
You
right?
got your
Everything's
notes together.
vector based.
I'd listen to that.
I would
Right.
listen to that. All
So
the
it's-
notes are flat.
Flat.
So it's all vector-based.
It's all vector based.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I speak vector, but only on digital stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
On in your digital design, you use that?
Vector works.
Vector Man's a game
That's
for
like
Genesis.
Illustrator
Yes.
uses vector based.
Yeah, that's what
right?
that's what I know.
So, Steve, can you tell the story that made me fall in love with you? The thing that said, we need him on the show. Years ago, you had a job that's remarkable and took a very long time.
Okay, so being a spoiled brat that I was back in the day, I did not want to come back to New York City. So my dad, who's got obviously a lot of apartments and is a big real estate mogul up here in New York, promised me, come back, you'll have the world. I didn't want to do that. I went to school and wanted to do something interesting. I had found out through a whole bunch of professors at Virginia Tech that the world was coming around to creating maps for what we now call in-car navigating systems. These systems would not work without having longitude, latitude, and nodes of intersections and complexes and addresses throughout the country as a backbone for these systems to operate, to get you from point A to point B. So the whole idea was we would start. I got hired by Sony, working for a company called eTech in Menlo Park, California. And then Bosch in Germany got a hold of us, 6-man team. And we drove every road in the United States, including Alaska.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So, what we had to do is we had to actually map out. Satellites were mapping us, and we actually had to put into the system our nodes and what every node included. What do I mean by that? How do you guys know how does your navigation know that you're driving down the block and you're not allowed to make a left here?
Because Steve told the computer in what year?
That was big, 1994.
What?
Let me tell you
That's
something.
crazy.
I use GPS on a regular basis, and I know that there's an answer, and I cannot figure out. I mean, I can figure it out, but whenever I'm using it, I'm in awe that it knows where I am on the street. Simple
All the
as
time.
that. It's crazy. I mean, Danielle literally couldn't get out of this room without GPS.
You're right. I've
Like-
lived.
You do realize though that your unit is only a receiver.
No, I didn't.
That's
realize
not doing the work. The work is in outer space. There's 24 satellites that everybody is attached to, including handheld GPSs for hunters and mountain people and the cars. There's 24 satellites that have been launched by the United States. Not everybody in the world's got GPS.
Steve,
We have 24 satellites.
you said you're very experienced. We have this world famous podcast, and your father's a real estate mogul. Could we make the 25th satellite?
Yeah, the nothing satellite gets
Would you
launched.
want to invest in this?
You know what? That'd be great.
Yeah, I
think
like
we-
that.
I
Think
think
of what we could do.
We could listen. We're running out of ideas of things to do. I think that'd be a great idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Danielle could do sketch heads of everybody in the world. That'd be
Great.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited now.
Yeah.
I'll paint a bagel on the side.
Yes.
So,
Oh, we have all the bagels in the world
All
to
the
launch.
bagels.
We can launch.
We got a lot to get into because I want to get into the
There's lots
transition
up
into
there.
bagels.
Okay.
But right now, I want to rest on the driving all the streets.
Right. Very interesting.
It's very interesting.
Insane.
So there were places where you'd want to go and work across the country.
Right.
And there were places you've heard of that you don't want to go do any work. Like, I was adamant. I didn't want to go map out Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ended up sending me there, and that was my first stop. And you know what? I had a blast.
I was gonna say you probably fell in love with it.
I
Yeah,
did. I had a really good time. The roads are pretty straight, so it wasn't hard. But you know what? You did your 8 hours of mapping, driving around all the streets, and you have X amount of days to complete everything. Send all that data back to corporate,
Right.
So they can start punching these digital maps out, and then we got to do test runs.
But would this job be far easier in 2020 than it was in 1995?
Yeah, because you just follow a
How
GPS.
were you even? But how are you even sending the information back to corporate in 1995?
The backbone had to be done. Someone
Right.
had to drive these roads.
Right.
If we never did that, you still have to do it today.
How'd you not miss a street?
Well, we do. There's a lot of subdivisions, not a lot of new roads that went in after us, and we don't have all that.
But you also told me something.
So someone
that
does
even
updates.
To this day, when you drive around and you see a road you didn't hit, you call it in.
I do.
That's
Because
amazing.
It's crazy. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the thing you can't call in is, take New York City, for example. We're always changing signs.
Sure.
You know, maybe there's a no U-turn on this block one day, and the next day I was like, oh, that's not necessary.
Yeah, of course.
One-way hours, blocks flip,
And you
all
can't
kinds of
you
things.
can't call that in.
I'm
You're doing
not
it all
calling
day.
everything in.
So who
It's-
updates that?
Somebody has to sit somewhere in the city or maybe even at the state level probably and just
Monitor those
wait.
changes.
Yeah,
Yes.
We're gonna get that
not
one
every
here.
day, but it's crazy.
Yeah. So this leads me to my first game that I'd like to play.
Here we go.
Now this is a game for everybody in the room, and I don't expect you. I'm not trying to trap you. I don't expect you to know the answers here. The game is this a real street somewhere in the United States or not?
Okay.
Just
Okay.
based on, I'm not, and this is not me saying you should know all the streets.
Okay.
Just based on your knowledge of streets.
But a real cartographer would know the
Is
streets.
that, well, this is you're asking a lot.
But just keep in mind that most states, the same name streets are in a lot of states are duplicates.
Yeah, none of. I don't
so-
think any of these are going to be duplicates.
So that's how I know if it's real or not.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Ready?
We're voting.
Everybody's going to chime in.
All right.
Okay. The first one. Bucket of Blood Street.
Oh,
Do we think that's a real thing?
I'm gonna say yes.
Matt's saying yes.
I say no. It's
No.
too graphic.
Steve, Bucket of Blood Street. Picture it on a sign.
He's
Is it
legitimately
there?
I'm going to say yes.
Yes. Okay, Danielle.
I'm gonna go with yes.
The answer is yes. In Arizona, there's a Bucket of Blood Street.
Here's the thing, though. We're guessing. His eyes roll up, and he's thinking about his life. He's like, I think I was there. Yeah. There's a White Castle.
Okay, the next one.
This is bananas.
The
Okay.
next one is
Yeah.
Dingleberry Hollow.
Oh God.
God, I hope so.
Okay, Matt's saying he hopes so.
I only say no because I think you would say Dingleberry.
Okay.
I agree.
I say no.
It is not a street. Now, granted, when I make one up, I did not Google it to see if it is a street, but I don't think it is.
But the road in Matt's pants is Dingleberry.
Oh, gosh. It's a dirt road. All right. Okay. Okay. Here's one.
Okay.
Here's one. Lois Lane.
Oh, I gotta be. It just gotta be.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
It's in Staten Island, guys.
Yes.
Ugh.
It is in Staten Island. Yeah. Baby Stroller Avenue. Real street or not real street? Bucket of Blood was real. Keep it in
Baby
mind.
Stroller Avenue.
Baby Stroller Avenue.
No.
No? Matt?
I'm gonna say yes.
Would you say yes or no on that, Steve?
Maybe we have to go back and you have to define a street for me.
It's on a sign. It's on a sign.
It's on a sign, but it
exists.
doesn't have to be a street.
Not
Because there's walks that are signed. There's
yes, it's all street, walk, road, lane. All of that is.
It's
I'm
things you
counting.
can
all,
drive.
I'm counting it all as one.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, Danielle.
No.
So Steve's the only one who says yes.
Okay.
And I said
Now,
you
and then
said
Matt
yes?
said yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
answer is no. It is not a real street, but it's pretty convincing.
Baby Stroller Street.
I think so. And where do you hear the rest? So it is not a street.
Okay.
The next one. Basketball court.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
No. He went with no. So I have not seen the sign, but apparently it is in Mississippi. Basketball court.
Think
There's
about
also Supreme Court, tennis court. These are real.
But are they? My question is,
Would he have driven it?
we have what's dedicated street name.
yeah.
Then we have what's dedicated local law street name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which means if a firefighter dies tomorrow
Right.
morning out front, local law could actually
They
put
could
his,
name it. Right. It's on the
So
sign.
are those
That's all
local
I
law
know.
signs or are they actual street names?
Right, that I don't know. I don't know. So that's it. No, we're getting this. You're right. This is kind of an unfair game because
Right.
there's a
Steve's
lot
getting
of
mad. Calm down, everybody.
this next one. Okay, Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
This one is two signs together. A dog will lick his butt, but won't eat a pickle road.
That's pretty creative. Maybe we should put in to have a street change.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
A dog will lick his butt, but won't eat a pickle road.
Which park can that be in?
What city? What
Well,
state?
that's city, state.
It's definitely in Florida.
Or a park leading into a park, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh.
Could be.
Or a pickle factory. Matt, I say yes.
I say yes.
I say no.
I say no.
All right. So technically, the answer is no.
Oh.
There is a street in Colorado that has that as two street signs above each other on a corner, but the city does not recognize it as an official street.
See, that's what Steve said.
Local law, right?
Right. So there you go. It is technically
called
there.
again?
A dog will lick his butt is one, but won't eat a pickle road.
That's
is
an
the
interesting
other.
city because
So it's
usually if
accepted.
a sign is not something the city warranted,
How can it
why
be
haven't
there?
they removed it?
Yeah, I don't know. It is there. I saw it. There's a picture of it. Maybe it's
I
gone
believe it.
now.
I
It's
believe
maybe
it.
There's
gone
not a
now.
whole lot going on in Colorado.
Right.
I feel like
No, everybody's high. That's why.
true.
Okay. All right. This next one is named after an actor, Vincent Gardenia Boulevard.
Oh,
You know Vincent
can
Gardenia?
I answer it?
He's famous for playing Mr. Mushnick
Mr.
in Little
Mushnick.
Shop. For me, at least.
Okay,
There's so many other things.
I don't
but-
want to throw the game here. It's real, and my father was in his house because he had to fix his phone. Vincent
Oh.
Gardenia Boulevard, real, and my father was in his house.
Vincent Gardenia Boulevard. He gave it away. It is real. We're on it.
Yes.
Wait, this is it? It's on the street?
15th Avenue.
That one.
You knew it was real. Steve knew it. He was not.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're right.
Where do you live exactly?
I don't know. Your dad would know that. You're the one who said he was
Yeah,
in the
it's true.
house. All right. The next one. Liquid Laughter Lane.
I want that to be real. Yes. I'm voting yes.
Liquid. Well, Danielle loves liquid
Yes,
laughter.
I love
Yes.
alliteration, so yes.
I'd like to just say, my wife is here. She's never at a recording. She's sitting next to me. She's staring at her phone while we're giving entertainment, top quality stuff. And she knocked into me just now and showed me a picture of a monkey eating a grape on her phone.
Well, to be fair,
fabulous.
to be fair, your wife doesn't
That's
listen.
fabulous.
To be fair, your wife doesn't listen to the show
Not at all.
anyway.
She wa-
So
look
why
at-
would she start
It is
now?
cute though. Look,
That monkey is eating a grape.
it's cute. It's not. It's no bigger than the grape.
But so she doesn't listen to the show, so why would she start now?
Oh, it's Vincent Gardenia.
There he is, Vincent Gardenia. It's Vincent Gardenia eating a grape.
All right.
So Liquid Laughter Lane, what are we saying?
Hawaii, yes.
Yes?
Hawaii.
Whoa.
Pull up the
Whatever
state.
he says, I say yeah.
No, you don't have to say the state.
No, he pulled out a state.
He pulled out the state.
I'm guessing Hawaii.
I don't know where it is, but it is real. Liquid Laughter Lane. It
gotta
is
be Hawaii.
real. Yeah, it could be Hawaii. I don't know. Okay, next one. Only two more. Crazy Quilt Court. Crazy Quilt Court.
That sounds like something you'd find.
I hope you haven't been to all these roads.
I went and I saw them all.
It,
Crazy Quilt Court. The name of this episode might be Crazy Quilt Court.
that would be great. That would be great.
Two grandmothers suing each other.
I think it's real.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you think? Yes?
I would say no.
No. It is real. Crazy Quilt Court. I would have said no, too.
Let's guess Alabama. Where can that be?
That one I have. It's in Columbia? But the U.S. Columbia?
Columbia, Maryland.
Maybe.
The
Every
District of
state's got
Columbia?
a Columbia.
Every
so,
Columbia,
yeah.
it's got to be. I checked.
Every state has a
I tried
Columbia.
when it said Columbia. I was like, "This is definitely." I'm looking up
Yeah, but
United
in
States
Columbia
street names.
wouldn't be written in English, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
it's
don't know,
probably
and I don't know
states
how to translate Crazy Quilt Court. All right, last one. This is the last one.
Okay, it's the best one.
You know what? I'm actually going to give this one away. No guessing on this one. I'm going to tell you this is a street, and it is in Arkansas. The street sign reads, all one word, Farfrompoopen. Changing my mind. The name of the episode might be Farfrompoopen.
Imagine if you lived at 54321 Farfrompoopen.
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 Like Farfignugan. But,
Yes,
but with poop.
but far from pooping. So those are real street names.
I ate 6 bananas for lunch.
That's you.
Far from pooping.
You're far from pooping.
Wow. Okay.
This is what you've walked into. Just letting
This
you
is
know.
great.
Okay.
Fabulous. You guys are wonderful.
All right. Now I have a game. Okay.
Wait, we're gonna go right into your game.
Why not?
We don't
It's
have another one.
Basically
We
the
don't-
same thing. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
They're similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're gonna let you talk again.
This is only for Steve.
Oh, this one is only for
Okay,
you.
Steve, I'm going to name actual cities in the U.S. You respond with a one-word reaction.
Yes,
Ready?
just a react, not a yes or no, a reaction to how
Just a reaction.
they make you feel. These are real places.
These are all real.
An auditory reaction.
You've
though,
been
because-
to all of these. Here we go. Cumming, Georgia.
Is there a question mark?
Baby
at the end of that
shower.
one? Baby shower.
Okay. Sweet Lips, Tennessee.
Sweet lips.
This is a bit like a Rorschach test or a word association game.
Dolly Parton, was she from Tennessee?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Was she?
Yeah.
So Dolly Parton's your
Sweet
answer on
Lips.
that? This is a real place in Kentucky. It's called Beaver Lick, Kentucky.
Oh no!
Yes, it is.
Wait, that's an army base.
Beaver Lick?
Yes, it is. Or is that Fort Campbell?
Those don't sound alike.
They don't? You sure?
Beaver Lick.
Campbell, Fort Campbell, Beaver Lick.
Okay. Goobertown, Arkansas.
I'm
That
from there.
sounds something like Bill Clinton. This shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Goobertown.
Climax, Pennsylvania.
The same as the Georgia one.
These are all real.
Oh, what are they called? What are the old farmers called in Pennsylvania?
What are they called?
What's the two breeds over there?
Oh,
Amish,
Amish.
and what
Oh,
are
I
the
don't
what's
know.
the other
Mennonite?
breed?
Mormon?
Mennonites, right? you're
Mennonites.
Right.
No,
Frank's
aren't the
right.
Mennonites Mormon? Amish?
The Amish are the bearded Abraham Lincoln lookalikes.
yeah.
They're not going to ever hear this, so say whatever you want.
Yeah, them you can insult. They're not going to hear it.
I know, you're right. I was
Yeah.
just trying
Right.
to be on the low. It's
So that's what you say. Goobertown, Arkansas, Mennonites. Okay.
yes.
No,
No,
Climax,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Burnt Corn, Alabama.
What?
Yum.
I also wish I didn't have a stuffy nose because I can't
Corn,
pronounce anything.
Alabama.
You want me to do it?
No,
Burnt corn.
Burnt Corn, Alabama. What do you think?
Sounds Republican.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Love this. This is my favorite one. Idiotville, Oregon.
Tom's on his honeymoon right now. They went to Idiotville, Oregon.
I don't think those guys out there know what they're doing. I think Oregon's lost in the sauce.
Okay, 3 more. This is in North Carolina. Everybody loves it. We've all been there. Horny Town.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Great place to be.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We have in Connecticut. There are nice places there. This is not one. It's called Satan's Kingdom. That's a real place.
Good name for Connecticut.
Satan's Kingdom.
Good, great name for Connecticut. They're
Great
getting,
name for Connecticut.
They're getting
That's a
ready to file
nickname.
Chapter 11, the whole state, by the way.
They are.
Just an FYI.
The whole state's going under.
They're in so much trouble.
Can we buy them?
You don't
With the
hear
bagel
much
store
about
money?
You don't hear much about Connecticut, right?
No.
You know what?
No.
Because they're down.
Satan's kingdom.
They're
They're
going,
down in
that's-
Satan's kingdom.
Perfect, right
They
there.
moved Jerry Springer there, I think, right?
They're in so much trouble in that
Is he
state.
still doing it?
I don't
To,
know.
Okay.
to Satan's Kingdom or Connecticut?
Ah, Satan's Kingdom.
All right, here's the last one. This is the best one. Everybody take a breath. Everybody make sure they're sitting. We could all travel to Arkansas. How long would it take us to get to
How many
Arkansas,
times
Steve?
are we going to do Arkansas?
There are a lot of them in Arkansas.
Steve,
right?
how
What's
long will
going
it
on?
take
That's-
us to get there?
That's Hillary Clinton town. Is that why you're going there?
Okay, it makes sense for this. We're all going to take our trip. The Nothing Podcast live on the road from Toad Suck, Arkansas.
Toad suck.
Oh, ribbit.
Toad suck, Arkansas. I like it.
Anyway, tell us about yourself.
No, yeah. So you've been to Toad Suck, Arkansas?
It sounds interesting. Maybe we should have a road trip.
Road trip. We'll go.
Yes.
But so now my question for you is this: we joke around about these places. You have to have the best sense of direction. Is that where? You got to know your stuff, right?
Yes and no.
Okay. Could you put it this way? Could you find your way around Long Island without needing to look it up?
Yes.
Since nothing makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
If
That
you
means
know-
you're good.
If you know
I'm
which way
jealous.
north is.
I don't know which way. Whenever
down.
somebody asks me north, I
There's
point
two,
directly
there's
at
two
the sky.
norths, right?
What?
There's a true north and a magnetic north,
Okay.
right?
True north
True
is
north is straight up.
straight up.
Magnetic north is directions, right?
Interesting. I always got confused. I'm an idiot. It's clear. That's interesting. So if you know your way north, you can find
But
your
you
way.
shouldn't have problems with directions because you're a man.
Oh.
Oh!
Well, we did just say Danielle couldn't find her way out of the room.
No, I mean
Danielle,
he
do
has,
you-
he has
oh,
way better sense of direction than I do.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
me and my mother growing up, she would get lost.
I just
she would
think
cry.
women don't care about direction.
Oh no, I definitely care about direction. I hate being lost,
Yeah.
and that's why I live by my GPS.
Sure.
Yeah.
And thanks to Steve. So,
Yes.
Steve, you drove by this house in 1995. Do you like what they've done with the place?
Yes.
Joke's on you. It's looked exactly the same since the 70s.
You remembered it.
Value
you
of
knew,
the
you knew
house.
where the bathroom
Value of the
was.
house.
That was crazy.
Value of the house increased.
So you've been everywhere. So we recently went to a place in Connecticut. Now, it's funny that you mentioned that. Called the Pez Visitors Center in Connecticut. We saw a sign for it, and I was like, I love Pez. Let's go. And we went there, and it was way more elaborate than we thought it would be. It was a big museum. There was giant Pez outside the building. I'm like, how many little niche things must there be hidden all over the country? Do you have in mind something you could pull up? Any sort of crazy thing that you've seen? You're like, this exists? What the hell is this out here in the country?
The way people act was all you needed to see.
Right. It's really that different.
I'm telling you. So, as an example, I'm mapping out Jacksonville, Florida. I'm in what they call, well, back then it was all hood.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now it's got some money coming in, new money, whatever. So anyway, I went into a sinkhole. I was just driving down the back end street, and my minivan with my satellites actually collapsed into the road.
No.
And I was looking up. So you could, the back end of the minivan went into the sinkhole. I was looking up, and I was there for a good 30 minutes before anybody even knew I had went in.
Wow.
You were alone?
I was alone. Next thing I know, I see this gentleman come, young fellow, about 22, 23 years of age, comes over. He's like, "You need help?" I was like, "Dude, do you think I need help? Can you get me out of here? Call somebody, please." He goes, $20.
No.
I said, "What do you need $20? He goes, "I need a fix. $20 and I'll get you help." I was like, "Dude, I'll give you $30. Can you just, because give it to me first." How am I supposed to get him the money exactly?
Right. Are you going to come in the hole? Then we
He's
all
not
need help.
coming in.
Right.
I know he wasn't coming in.
Right.
So
I
your
was like,
van
just
was
call him.
pointing up.
I was there for 8 hours before they could even pull me out of there.
Did you give him the $30?
No, he did not get the $30. And I'm a very generous person, but he wasn't getting $30.
No, I mean, if he had a way, maybe.
How'd they get you out of the sinkhole?
That's what he said. He goes, $30, I'll find a way.
Right, yeah. That's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
sound
Don't call
logic.
on any help, just whatever.
Sound logic.
Wow. You drove around with these satellites on top for years, right?
Yeah, and people looking at you like we were like Martians.
Yeah, but that's why you have that giant tumor on the top of your head.
Right. Well, I had two removed. No, I did.
No.
I had one removed from the back of my ear.
You think it's because of the satellite?
Probably.
I mean,
the
especially
space
early
beams were
satellite.
coming down.
Yeah, well, of course, they still are. Wait till 5G comes out next week. You're dead.
Do you really think 5G is going to come out next week?
Dude, T-Mobile's already launched it.
But they've been
This
talking
is the
about
problem, right?
But so they've been
And
talking
they-
about 5G for
scientists
years, but
are
it's
like-
not like really ever happened.
No, it's just going to fry us.
Yeah, do you think it's really going to get there? They keep saying everything. You think you have 5G already, you don't. But do you really think
Well, we
it's
said
gonna...
the same thing about 4G.
Right. I guess
got there.
eventually.
Everybody
came.
has 4G.
Right.
4G's killing the bees, or is it 3G?
4G was the one that was killing the bees, they said.
Save
So
the
Danielle
bees.
loves 4G. She's
she
like
No,
all
no, no,
for
no,
it.
no. I am sad because we know and we need the bees. Save the bees.
Why do you need the
Hashtag
bees?
save
You know,
the bees.
honey's one of the only things that doesn't expire.
That's why I have this
Well, at a
honey.
certain point, we're
I
gonna
bought
run
this
out.
honey before you were driving around the country.
John, right before we started recording, John literally squirted honey into his mouth.
Yeah, all around the room.
And all over us.
So let's throw some really quick. Let's throw some useless knowledge out there about honey.
Give it. Let's.
John Hopkins University's Medical Center did a study, grabbed a random sample of 100 people between the ages of 55 and 99. These people, believe it or not, have never had the common cold, have never had an ache, have never had a fever. 100 people between the age, so 55 years of your life, you never even experienced a cold.
Sounds like they haven't lived.
100 people between the age of 50, right? They couldn't figure out what it was. Finally, two professors came in at the end, two scientists came in. Let me ask you a question. What's the first thing you guys do in the morning for breakfast? European mountain honey, every single one of them.
Really?
Can we buy that on
Not
Amazon?
here. Gotta get, I don't know if Amazon has it.
Danielle, look up.
But
Matt, look up.
it's
Matt, no,
not,
Danielle's
so,
mixing.
So
Matt,
these
look up
bees,
European
these
mountain
bees
honey.
don't use
I'm not actually
flowers.
doing anything.
Right.
They use conifers,
Okay.
which are oak trees in the mountains. They're not pollinating flowers. When they say mountain honey, there's no flowers in the mountains.
Right.
So that's where the bees are.
That's
so
the
it's a
better
different
honey.
type of honey.
Wow.
So we don't need these idiots we got flying.
No, that's
around
all
here.
sugar. That's not going to make it on the shelf.
Yeah, but it's in a bear.
Right.
Right.
So I
but
thought it was mountain
this
honey.
isn't cute. It's in a bear. So-
That's the perfect thing to give a kid diabetes right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have some more.
Let's read the directions. The ingredients.
No, let's not read the ingredients. We don't want to out the
I
honey
want to
company.
protect you.
You can get Spanish mountain honey on Amazon for $30.
Steve, is that okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Steve, can we take that? We're both sick.
Does it say
in
it's
case we
from
haven't said it.
conifers?
Let's see. It's from eucalyptus.
Oh, see,
Looks
it's a
like-
plant.
You think it'll be okay?
No, plant-based. We don't want that
We need
plant-based
tree
honey.
honey.
It does wonders.
It does wonders.
Yeah, it keeps my sugar. I'm diabetic. It keeps my sugar down.
Wow. I know Manuka honey's powerful, like a.
See, I've never had that.
I got a question.
Okay.
What are we talking about right
No
now?
idea. Back to the list.
Back in the day, they ate honey and made maps.
Yeah, of course.
So we gotta throw that in there. What do you think they did, these medieval people?
They ate honey and made maps. That's the quote. So when you were on the road, this is unrelated to anything we've said. Well, except maybe a continental breakfast. You stayed on the road. When you got to stay places, you had to stay in hotels?
That was the best part.
Chain hotels.
Yes.
Which one gets your recommendation?
It depends what part of the country you were in.
True. What's one that stands out to you that you go, wow, I love this hotel? You can give me
Ritz?
now. The Ritz.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, so not the Bates?
I'm thinking like Doubletree.
Yeah.
Doubletree was Baltimore. Oh shit, I could probably tell you.
Wow.
I could probably tell you all the hotels in every city I've been to. It's just I had an experience at every one of them.
Right.
Whether it was with room service or just horsing around with your colleagues or.
Right.
Did you guys get along? Because this is like, you had to become a family.
We had at some point we had to start being comedians to each other and trying to get each other in trouble because we weren't going to make it.
Right. What do you do in the car that whole time when you drive?
Car's terrible. Like, especially in Detroit and some of these larger cities, you want to go out and enjoy the nightlife.
Yeah,
but you're on the
sure.
road 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you get back, you shower, you want to go have some dinner at, what were some big dinner hotspots? What do they call that steakhouse we got? Outback?
Yeah.
Big in the Midwest, big in Detroit.
I love Outback.
Every night you were there.
Shout out Capizzo.
Yeah, I love Outback.
But you know what I felt like? I felt like I was king because the Midwest, when you tell them you're from New York City, they're like...
Oh, yeah, they
They're
love
bowed
you.
down.
They love you. Or they hate you. It could be one of two ways.
The women loved us.
Yeah. All right. I was going to
Not
ask if
for
you
any
had
other reason.
groupies.
They were just like, extra drink. You want some more lamb chops? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? She's like, we love you guys.
Wow.
New Yorkers come off as very friendly other places. It's funny. They think that we're so rude, and then you go there, and they love you.
And they're wise, too. They're like, Detroit was the best Outback Steakhouse, Long Line. She was like, hang out by the bar. Cute little girl from used to live in Long Island, works there now. She's like, looked at me, and she goes, Long Island iced tea? I said, how'd you know? She goes, you're from New York.
Wow.
How do you know that?
I don't want to get you all excited, but there's an Outback about 4 minutes from here.
I know that. I haven't been to it yet.
On Vincent Gardenia Boulevard. It's
Right.
good.
Whoa! It all comes
now
back.
we gotta go. Now we gotta go. We have to go to that now.
So you know when you're a little kid and little kids have those rugs with the maps printed on them, and there's like the post office,
Sure.
the firehouse, the police station, the library. Do you see that and you're like, that's bullshit?
It's sad that kids don't have anything to do with geography these days.
It is. It's a true
pathetic.
fact. Kids
Yeah.
don't even know maps at all.
No.
They don't even know anything. I mean, I could. You give me a
I don't
paper
know
map,
that.
I'd give it back.
I
couldn't fill
know
it out.
nieces and nephews that are in high school and college that can't get around Brooklyn or Manhattan. They just, how do you get there? Oh, Uber.
Right.
Right.
But you know what? That's your fault.
It's the parents' fault. Yeah, no. It's the parents' fault. You're right.
No, because you made the GPS.
No,
That's
it's
why
not my
it's your
fault.
fault.
So you parlayed this into a career more, let's say, stable or static. What's the word I'm looking for? In one place.
Sedentary.
That wasn't the word, but yes, that's a good word. That's why we have
Close.
Matt here. That's why we have Matt here. Yeah. So you
Ben Stein.
parlayed this experience into a city position here.
To give you that story. So my partner on the trip, there was three of us, was from the Bronx. As we were driving cross country, he was having seizures in the van as we were driving.
Right.
I'm like, Autumn, something's wrong with you, man. Why don't you just go back home and I'll get a new partner and just get it checked out. You can go back home and get back on a truck, come back home, flying back in, whatever. Anyway, they were saying that he had schizophrenia.
Okay.
So they were putting him on all this medication. He'd come back. We'd ride a few hours a day. He'd start convulsions and all this good stuff. Finally, he just left. And he called me back, and he's like, I'm not coming back, but I got a job with Mayor Giuliani's office. And we're going to do some security detail maps and some other things for him, whatever. So it was great working with you, and I'll see you when you get back to the city. No problem. I got a new colleague who's actually with the OT now, too. Autumn, they misdiagnosed him with some kind of brain condition, but he actually had kidney cancer. So I don't know how you can make that drastic wrong decision.
With no disrespect to your friend, they could have used a map.
Yeah. That's no.
Body map.
Body.
Everyone just looked at me. Sorry, John's mad.
Listen,
I
listen.
don't know where the story's going.
Okay,
No, I'll tell you where
either.
he's going with this, and I'm going to correct you. When you do an image of the body via PET scan or CAT scans, that's actually a map of the internals, is it not?
Right,
course
yeah,
it is.
sure, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
it's human cartography.
Ooh.
Is it not?
Yeah.
It's a map.
Yeah.
If you're going in to see something and you're going to map it out and say, well, what if you have a tumor here? It's mapped out in a certain location.
With exactly where it is.
That's a map,
Okay.
right?
sold. Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're
yeah.
good.
What?
You're good on that.
Okay. I
You're not making
wouldn't
fun
want
of
to
me.
be offensive.
Okay, anyway.
Yes.
He was misdiagnosed. He was on these pills. He went into cardiac arrest.
Oh.
7 times they brought him back. And then my other friend had called me and said, Autumn passed away. I was like in shock. I was like, how's that possible? Anyway, he had spoke about me in the office, Giuliani's office. And that's when I got the phone call. Would you like to come up for an interview? I was like, well, you know what? I got San Francisco left to do. Then the whole country's done. I'll come in for an interview. And I came in for an interview. It wasn't even a 5-minute interview. Like, Autumn spoke about you. You're working with us.
That's amazing.
So I started there.
So he got you that position.
Right.
He
got that
recommended you.
position you're connected to him still in through that, which is
Correct.
amazing. Yeah.
Correct. So we did the security detail part, which we can't really go into depth, but that's what I did for Giuliani.
Security detail.
Maps,
Maps.
snipers,
Right, you weren't doing. You
Right,
can't talk
right.
too much about it.
Right.
You weren't doing the security, but you
Correct.
were
But
mapping
you would
out where the
place the-
security would need.
We
to
were
be.
doing all kinds of things. We were designing maps for vehicles being parked around City
Of
Hall,
course, of
make
course.
sure they were inspected, the good stuff. Then I went into. He came up with this bright idea that he wanted to know. Mayor Giuliani wanted to know. At every intersection in Manhattan, he wanted to know the relationship between every fatality and the amount of cars that drove by that intersection. So I spent 2 years mapping out in pie charts bicycle deaths, pedestrian deaths, vehicle deaths at every intersection in Manhattan. And the way I did that was I had to get all the data for 10 years between DMV and the police departments. So I spent 2 years mapping out. Now it has to be an accurate map. You can't just make up numbers. So they kept pouring data and data and data. So at that point, I left that and went into DOT as a consultant, not as an employee. And I was working on the geographical information system part of the city. After that ended, then they wanted me to design all the bike lanes. I designed the bike map. If you go out and get a truck map or a bike map or an MTA map, the base map back in the 90s, I had done.
Wow.
So those are all my products.
Well, because now you said earlier, I don't know if you can talk about it, that the origins of the GPS kind of satellite system came from military.
You know they can shut that down any minute, right?
Right. So that's developed by them.
Right.
By the quote unquote them.
Developed by Reagan.
The military, right.
Right.
As surveillance. Mm-hmm. And then how we ended up with it somehow.
It just made it public domain. They thought it'd be really cool for everybody to have it.
And I'm
To
not
follow
gonna-
you.
They're not wrong.
No.
They can follow me. If I can get where I'm
Absolutely.
going, let them follow me. Where am I going?
Via our phones.
Phones. Oh, they just got fined today. You didn't see that?
Who?
T-Mobile and all them? Hundreds of millions of dollars.
For what?
For giving up where you are on a daily basis to
The
corporations.
Pfizer reports or whatever.
I like that people know where I am.
Feel safe?
Yeah.
I need people to know where I am.
You know,
I am
Steve, you wish
very
this was
self-conscious.
working when you were stuck in a sinkhole in Jacksonville, Florida.
What an experience, let me tell you.
Here's the question that I really have about it. If there isn't a Burger King and a Dunkin' Donuts attached, can you really call it a rest stop?
That's it. That's a state-by-state level thing, too.
Yeah.
What's your
Because truck stops, I don't know, when we used to go on highways, you ever get foot-long hot dogs with coleslaw and chili on the foot-long
Yeah.
at the truck stops? You ever had that?
I have.
They're great.
And I love them.
Yeah, I had a sweet tooth one night, and I didn't have any change or anything, so I just stole the gumball machine out of the truck stop.
The whole gumball
Put
machine?
Yeah, put it in the back of the
That's the
minivan.
best.
No.
Went back roads, kept mapping, I just smashed it. Took the gumball out, and I took the money out, and the next day, 7-Eleven puts, like, charity donations.
Yeah,
donate
yeah.
all the
Oh, you're a
money.
good guy.
What a
Yeah, but I
hooligan.
needed the gumball.
But I think that in a previous life, Danielle used to eat footlongs at truck stops.
Oh, wow.
Your eyes are going to get stuck up there. Stop. Wow, that was funny.
That's how we met.
That's how you met. Met at a
John
truck
worked
stop.
for
Yeah.
Met at a
Penske.
truck stop.
So have you ever showered at a truck stop?
No.
No. Have you ever, but we were at one not too long ago where they were calling the numbers and they were like, number 6 now available, and this guy would be like, okay, I'm gonna go shower in the truck stop. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Those are the guys that move this country.
Oh,
Did you ever
absolutely.
think about that?
Those
Those truckers move this country.
one of the most important careers. I want to
Yes.
get a trucker on this show. It's crazy It's crazy.
They move this country.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Without them, we have no United States.
Well, what do you have to
Shout
say
out
to my
Keith.
mother who goes, "Why do these trucks have to be on here with us?" That's what you say.
You ain't eating.
They
That's
move
right.
this country.
Danielle had a question. What was your question, Danielle?
Oh, it was about the rest stops, but I really
Please, we're all over the map.
no.
We are.
So
That's it. That's great.
Get it?
We are. We're all over the
I
map.
want to know about your experience in Hawaii and Alaska.
Hawaii, not too many roads.
Right.
It's all tourist. The roads there just lead to tourist destinations. Alaska was interesting. Not only did I go there for work, I actually did my thesis driving to Alaska. So I studied volcanoes along with another person that did game management. We had to drive from Roanoke, Virginia. We were the only two individuals of any school ever to get Alaska's permission to drive to Prudhoe Bay where the pipeline starts.
And you stole a gumball machine.
16,000 miles round trip.
Wow.
What?
8 hours a day. Let me tell you something about Alaska. Everybody up there was born and raised in New York.
Really?
I didn't meet anybody, a few from British Columbia. But everybody wore a Mets fan or a Yankee fan. 10-1 guys to girl ratio. And everybody is there to fish.
Oh, we gotta go.
So why do you say everybody's there to fish? Well, all the kids, college students that don't have money to pay for college, if you go to Alaska for the summertime, you're on boat for the entire summer, but you make about $180,000.
Commercial fishing.
Yes. But you're signing a waiver that if you cut your hand, you're bleeding to death, something happens, the boat's not turning back. Big industry. But people go up there to make money.
Whoa. Like, what kind of, like tuna fishing?
There's halibut. I saw a guy pull up 600-pound halibut. They take 245s, pop them in the head, and pull it right out.
Let me tell you something.
Good old barn door.
We're
Dude,
gonna
it's crazy.
We're gonna get right a little. We're who cares? We're
Yeah.
everywhere. I learned a little bit about tuna fishing recently. No, I'm sure it goes with the same for these other big fish,
Right.
halibut, things like that. These people bring in fish. One fish could get you 10 grand,
Oh yeah, tuna.
12 grand.
Tuna.
That's
Yeah.
out of control. How do we eat it in these little cans? They're
Right,
sitting
but
on the
it's so
shelf.
cheap for us.
So Japan has the big fish market where they bring in all the tuna.
Here we go,
No, I'm
Japan
sorry.
again. No,
But no,
Matt loves Japan.
they have tuna auctions because of how expensive the fishes are. So you have different like people bidding on one tuna, and they'll pay like $10,000 so that they can break the tuna up.
Who would pay for that tuna over there?
right? $10,000.
Although-
When
the-
was the last nuclear spill? It was recent, wasn't it?
Right. Well,
That
that's why
was-
now it's down. Now you pay like $300
that-
bucks, you get a whole tuna.
Yeah, right.
Because they're
I
all,
still
glowing.
I still think you're getting some
they're all nuclear.
Probably.
Glow in
some
the dark.
radiation with
Glow in the
that.
dark, too.
Sam,
So
what did you
Sam
have to
has a
say?
question. We're going to move
Yes.
the mic.
So if you're working on the ship catching fish, is that all you're eating?
Yes.
Wow.
A lot of pescatarians out
You
there.
liked it?
So,
Yeah.
So back to your question.
yes.
Alaska was interesting. I think you all, when you get a chance, go visit. You had the Valdez Spill. You had Homer Spit, which is probably the oldest classic cars in the world are there on the beach. What else we have? The Prudhoe Bay Pipeline. Oh, here's something interesting that I'll teach you something about. So once you leave Anchorage and you start heading north towards Prudhoe Bay, the houses start getting further and further apart from each other. I'm talking miles. I think the last two before Prudhoe Bay, each house is maybe 20 miles apart, 22 miles apart. And what it looks like is a little hut, and they have like these big timber trees, and they're shaved and cut down into spears. And they're anchored into the homes. So you got all these homes, and they have spears of timber coming out of the house. Does anybody have any idea what those are for?
Moose, reindeer.
Sounds like Mad Max.
So they're like,
I didn't know either. I was
they're
freaking
just
out. They're just poking out. The whole house is covered. You can't, except the roof.
So, what is it for animals?
Yes. I knocked on the door, and this guy was kind of worried. He was like, "What are you doing up here? How'd you get up here?" I had to explain the whole thing to him. It's for the polar bears. When they cook and they smell, they're running to them. Because
Sure.
there's nothing to eat up there.
Of course.
Right? And he was like, "This protects us from the bears." I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Wow.
Look, I got the goosebumps. It's amazing.
But you must catch a bear.
And I was like,
So
"Can
up
I
there.
just?" And I ran out of film. I was like, "There's no mobiles weren't big back then.
Right, right.
This was in '87. I wish I had a picture of that, but I don't. Maybe we could find something on Google.
Yeah.
Somebody has
Matt?
it.
22 miles apart, the houses.
Yeah,
Tell
once you
me
get
that
up
would
there,
not be a
there's
horror
there's
movie.
nothing up there.
It's called 22 Miles Apart
you
about
go.
these two houses in Alaska.
But so now I'm a little closed-minded sometimes when it comes to other people and other places. Like, I don't understand it. Not that I'm closed-minded. I'm open. You do your thing. I don't understand it. And I know there's reasons. But if I was in a place like that, the houses are 22 miles apart. We got these spears. You cook, the bears come, you got to put the spears. I would literally knock on that person's door and go, hey, live somewhere else. Don't live here.
They pay him to live there.
Wow, who's paying?
The same with British Columbia. All the coast of Canada, going up into Alaska, you get paid to live in that part of the world.
Why do they want you?
Because
there?
it would be desolate. It would be dead. No one would be there.
So what?
So the government, Canadian government, pays everybody that's in British Columbia to live in British Columbia. You get paid. You don't have to work. Just get paid to live there. Go live there.
But why do they want people to live there?
Why wouldn't you want to occupy that part of the country?
Because it's a shithole.
It's not a shithole. It's actually beautiful.
It is beautiful. No, it's beautiful.
No, it's beautiful.
A lovely place to visit.
You hear some stories. Let me tell you, it's great.
I'm sure it's beautiful, but it's so uninhabitable because the word is uninhabitable. Meaning you shouldn't live there.
What did, Danielle?
So now I'm on Google, and I didn't know that there was actually a place called the North Pole.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
Were you there?
No, that's
where Santa lives. He was a guest.
I searched
gonna say, we
that.
talked to the guy who lives there.
Look, I made it all the way up to Prudhoe Bay.
That's crazy.
So here's the good thing. The good thing is that's the top of the world highway over there, right? It's really at the top of the world. And I'm like, man, if I get a flat here, I'm toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did 15,900 miles of going up and back without a single problem. And I get an hour outside of Roanoke, Virginia, and my radiator goes.
Oh,
So I was like, Lord, really?
wow.
What kind of a van was it?
I had a Jeep Wrangler. I had 45 millimeters tied to the weapons, tied to the engine in the back.
Just in case.
Well, we camped every night, so you don't know what you're going to...
Right, bears.
Yeah, but
People.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What a life.
But that's... I was a city boy, and I was like, you got to camp every day. I was like, do what?
Yeah.
I'm like, just do it. I was like, I'm going to camp every night for 6 weeks. I'm like,
Oh.
yeah. Peanut butter, jelly, and salad. That's all it was.
Where'd you camp in? Just you slept in the car?
No, in a tent. It was fine. Campground, park.
How did this whole experience change you of driving everywhere?
I'll never do it again.
But did it change you as a person?
Did it change me as a person? No, I'm a city boy. I've done it.
But it has to open your understanding and experience of the rest of the country.
I'll tell you
as a
what the
whole.
understanding is for people that are like, we don't understand how the Midwest is all red.
Right.
Right? Well, you don't know how they live
What
out
their
there.
life is like. I say that all the time. Yeah.
It's crazy. They don't have anything we have.
Right.
They don't.
So their whole life experience is completely different.
No, it's wild.
They're like
And so
aliens.
their opinions would be completely
You
not
just
completely
look at them
different,
and they
but,
tell you stories and you just want to cry.
Yeah.
They have a lot of hardships.
Everybody out there, it's bad.
Yeah.
But see, like, you've seen now all of that firsthand, which is not an experience that a lot of people get to have had. So that's a takeaway for certain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so how does this? Just because I want to bring it all around, and I want to bring it all full circle. So how does it get you to bagels?
Good question.
Thank you.
So I saw that most people throughout the Midwest and Alaska had nothing to eat.
Yeah.
This is not true. You serious right now?
It's bad out there.
Series has a heart attack. Was he making up a story?
He opened a bagel store because the people in the Midwest were hungry?
So anyway, here's
Bakery?
if you really want to know about the bagel store, I'll
I
tell you
do.
about it. Okay, so there was a coffee shop on 86th Street between
First of all, what is your bagel store? Let's get some promotion out there, right? Can we say
Gustaro.
Gustar? Well, no, I know. I'm just saying for the listeners.
Yeah, Gustaro.
Gustaro in Bay Ridge.
It's good.
You can call it a bagel store. We call it whatever we want. Sleepy Joe Coffee. When I was doing the maps in Hawaii, they have a coffee blend, not a blend, straight up coffee called Kona.
Kona coffee.
Kona coffee is a great coffee. It's actually grown in lava rocks, right?
Danielle loves.
I've had
Right,
it.
that's great. So
Danielle loves Hawaii.
the reason I opened a coffee shop on 86th Street called Sleepy Joe's Coffee, that I was getting Kona from Hawaii.
Huh.
That's when Victory Memorial Hospital was still operating.
Right.
So I was getting a lot of business. Rent was really cheap. It was a small store. I was doing paninis, breakfast, and Kona coffee. Sold that. Got into the stock market. Got into buying some buildings. The bar that was where my store was B&R Stars. Been there forever.
What was it called?
B&R Stars.
Uh-huh.
I think that's stood for maybe Bay Ridge Stars or something.
Okay.
I don't know what's up. Been there forever. So the owner was a DEA agent at JFK named Jimmy, and the bartender's name was Jimmy. So anyway, I could never for the life of me figure out how they were paying $10,000 in rent a month to my father when there was maybe 5 people in there on any given night. So I was like, well, since Jimmy's a DEA agent, maybe there something.
Hey,
was,
whatever, you know.
yeah,
right?
We don't know.
You
We don't
understand?
know.
So yeah, we don't know, but I'm assuming. Anyway, so what happened was the bartender Jimmy ended up shooting the owner Jimmy
In the store?
in the store.
That I go
Classic.
to every morning?
Classic Brooklyn story.
We could switch to another subject. I don't know if you know in that building what happened is, but my father made most of his money from the New York Times because if you remember the 1993 World Trade Center bombings, right? Those clowns lived in that building.
Are you kidding me?
No. So my father
You picked a great block for us to live, Sam. Thank you.
So my father actually, the New York Times was hitting him up. So my uncle, so that building's called my father and my uncle, Teddy's father-in-law,
Yeah.
right? So the guy kept saying he wouldn't pay his rent. My Uncle Michael was like, you need to pay me. I'm taking your car. He's like, I'll blow your building up. And not one person believed him. And then they did what they did in 93 at the World Trade Center. And my uncle was like, that's why he kept telling me he's going to blow the building up.
He was the only person in the city who went, oh.
Are you kidding me?
It all happened and he went, okay.
Swear on the Lord.
How many guys? That was a couple of people?
The redhead is the one that lived in the, I forget his name, whatever it was.
He doesn't need it. Don't even say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Where is that guy now? Just jail? Or did
Jail. It's the one-eyed Cheek and
Wait, what
the
now?
redhead. That was his name, the one-eyed Cheek.
Is he a wrestler?
Nice chic. He's your wrestler.
No, he's the rest. Yeah, Madison Square Garden.
There you go. So you now you the guy gets shot in the bar.
Right.
So then what happens? You swoop in.
No, my father's like, you guys want to give it to Starbucks?
Okay.
I was like, no, Dad, I could open up. I had the old store, something to do.
Right.
Maybe whatever. Mistake. I mean, when you own the building, you don't want to own a store, too. You'd rather just collect rent, make money instead
Yeah,
of
of course.
having to work. I pay my father.
Right. Well, sure.
Business is business. So,
Right.
Whatever. Well, we buy apartments. We sell bagels. We help people.
Great.
Wow.
And so you're a neighborhood establishment.
Yes.
Born and raised where?
Born and raised in Bay Ridge till I was 9. Then I went to juvenile detention
Okay.
in Virginia
Okay.
at the age of 9.
And then
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
What
I
said
was
you-
leading
I got-
towards you don't have to.
I got
I
it.
told
know.
you. We could go.
What sent you to juvie at 9?
All right, so
For the record, this dude has already told us. And how long are we doing this?
An hour and 10 minutes.
In an hour and 10 minutes, I now know that the 93 Trade Center bombers lives on my corner.
Right.
I know that someone got shot in the bagel store I go to every single morning,
Right.
probably where I stand. He's a possible flat earther. He stole a gumball machine. He's the only guy who ever drove from some place all the way up to Alaska, and people let him.
We know they're killing bears in cold blood for trying to eat.
A house with polar bear traps.
Yep.
And now he's going to tell us what sent him to juvie as a 9-year-old.
okay.
If it has to do with gumballs, I'm leaving.
So this kid Chris used to walk by. I lived in 385 where the store is, my store is now, and his mom would walk him down the block, take him to 102 over there in the corner, PS 102.
Yeah.
And they had money. We had nothing. My parents just came from Greece. My mom was pregnant, left Greece, and had me in '69 with them. And then he would just lick his ice cream, just like, you can't have any.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, you're kidding me, dude. He was like, you got no money. Your parents are poor. I get ice cream every day. I said, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you good. We go to school. We'd end up going. My mom was right behind his mom. He's eating his ice cream. We're going to school, whatever. Every day he's walking up with his ice cream. One day they were fixing some stuff outside. I looked down and saw some wood ash. I said, I'm going to wait for him and bring his ice cream in. He comes in one day. He's licking. He's doing the same thing. He's giving me this nasty look
he
like,
likes it.
you bitch, you can't have none of this. I was like, oh. Yeah.
What's wood ash?
Shaving, sawdust.
Oh, okay. I've heard wood ash.
Well, from the South. I told you I grew up in the South. That's what we call it.
All right, wood ash.
Loaded it up.
You threw sawdust at him.
Perfect. Every day we're best friends after that. He gave me
Okay,
some ice cream.
that's odd, but okay.
That's odd. Best friends have that.
Turns out he loves
My
sawdust on his ice
my
cream.
mom was like, my mother was like, you're not going to go to school anymore because I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm going to send you to Delphi Academy.
Close enough? Sure.
Close enough. 86th and Ridge Boulevard.
I know it well.
I'm Greek. Met up with some Turks. Everybody's like, we had a Chinese teacher that was just killing us on a daily basis, was like biased. And we all got together and we were like, what are we going to do to her? I said, we're going to light her up.
You were 9.
I was turning 9.
You were 8?
8 turning
You were going to
9.
light your teacher on fire.
4th grade. So we all...
Wait, you meant literally light her on fire?
Yes.
Oh, I'm like, light her up like they're going to shoot her?
No.
Nope, worse.
I still... We could probably look up the New York Post article, too.
Okay.
This was in 70... Yeah. This,
Hold on.
so listen.
No, I got to
No,
make a
no.
Korean barbecue joke before we get into the story. Now that I've said it, I'm not going to keep it in so we can move on. Korean
great.
barbecue. Danielle not listening clearly. I said Korean barbecue, not even crack a smile, clearly not listening.
You literally might have murdered her. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I bet he did.
Sorry.
Now, make a long story short.
Wait,
so,
can we vote? Let's just take a vote before he finishes the story. Yes or no?
No, I'm not saying Korean
Yes,
barbecue.
no.
No, stop it.
Not that.
What?
Before he finishes the story, yes or no? We've never done this before.
Okay. Okay, wait. Hold on. We're gonna pause.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
Good.
All right. Before we keep going, Steve, with that story, that you're really blindsiding us. We're gonna take a vote. We've never done this on the show. Did Steve kill that woman? Okay, let's go. Matt.
I'm gonna say no, but she probably didn't walk away without any scratches.
I'm gonna go maimed.
Say he killed her.
You think he killed her?
I think 8-year-old Steve killed his private school math teacher. Danielle.
Yeah, I think.
Serious. This is terrible. This is real.
Okay.
You know Rosemary's Baby, when she's going, this is real life. This is real.
Okay, we're gonna post the article in the show notes.
All right, Steve. All right, Steve, go ahead.
So,
I'm gonna light her up. Go
Greeks,
ahead.
Turks. So is 91st Street between 3rd and Ridge was fireworks capital back then. And we're not talking about fireworks, little Jap rockets and firecrackers. We're talking about quarter sticks, half sticks, pineapples, and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That was the big day. So one of the Turkish kids that we were hanging out with was like, well, let's get her. Let's just go get the explosive stuff.
Right.
I wasn't thinking anything. I was like, this guy's got to be kidding.
What year
Anyway,
is this? Let's say
1979.
79.
When you
not
blew-
surprised. Kids
Yes.
like let's we're gonna put the explosives.
Right.
I'm gonna blow up the teacher.
Fireworks back then was just
Yeah,
like
it's-
everybody was
yeah.
shouting.
This doesn't surprise
Right,
me. Yeah.
right. So this guy came in. I don't know, 20 sticks of dynamite, maybe.
Okay, for the dynamite.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Into school?
Into school. What do you think? School's like it is now with security guards.
Right.
Nothing. Just walk right in.
I'm picturing sticks
So he was
sweating
like, he was like,
nitroglycerin.
we're not. So the kid got actually smart. And he's like, we're not going to do any harm to anybody. What we're going to do is during recess, we're going to plan it before she comes in, and then during recess, we're just going to light and run.
And just scare her.
So yeah, but it sounded like it was bad because we did checkerboard sets, we did backgammon sets, we did drawers, we did anything that you could open and close.
you put dynamite.
Dynamite.
The combustion's more explosive, right?
Yeah, of
When
Right,
course,
because
naturally.
it's closed.
Yeah.
we ran down that. I just remember running down the hallway and just hearing everything pop. And
Was
pop.
she in the room?
No, it was recess. We let her go. But
Wow.
so
So
some
you
of you
blew
guys,
up a
some of you
classroom.
go, yeah. Next thing I know, I was in,
she was-
in
she-
the principal's room. The cops came. My mom came. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, so I went to trial, and I had to go away. Somebody in your building, where you live, not going to mention any addresses, was a lieutenant colonel in the Navy back then, between 77 and 79, was getting ready to retire, walked the videotape over to my parents, to where the store is, and showed them, this is where you tell the judge to send him. That was Fork Union Military Academy in the hills between Charlottesville and Richmond, Virginia. And I was there for 8 years, never came home.
What?
So they raised me. My parents never raised me. But you know what? I became a better person. I met a lot of influential, great people. Like my best friend is the owner of Under Armour, Kevin. Kevin started Under Armour.
Can we get him?
He asked. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I know a lot of people. Listen, Vinny.
Sam wants to close.
Here's the listen.
He almost killed his teacher. You're asking him for clothes.
Here's the people I'm in full connection with from high school.
Okay, tell us.
And you're gonna be like, how'd they get there?
Okay.
Well, Plaxico Burress.
Oh,
Whoa.
what?
Okay.
That you don't remember the whole after he shot himself? The New York Times
Yeah, of
article was
course.
like, you went to Fork Union Military Academy and you shot yourself.
Right.
You don't know how to handle a weapon.
Right.
So it was Plaxico. Vinny Testaverde was there with me. He used to
Whoa.
call me Munchkin. Who else? Steve Hamilton of the Redskins was there. John Dorsey of the Packers was there.
We're all just sitting here like, yeah, sports.
No,
sports.
yeah.
No, no.
I know.
All right,
So listen,
Vinny Testaverde.
Kevin and Plaxico and Eddie George from the Titans, all pro running back, were all teammates for our football team. Can you imagine what the football team's like with these guys, right?
Awesome.
Right. Yeah.
He was getting
each other
Kevin
up.
was getting rashes under his pads all the time, and we were laughing at him. He was like, "I got to do something about this."
Under Armour.
I was like, there's nothing you can do. What are you gonna do? Stop wearing, I don't know, change your shirt. He gets drafted to be the starting quarterback at Maryland. Gets to Maryland, same nonsense. Calls me up, and everybody he knew, he's like, I need $15,000. I need to go to New York and talk to some Chinese people and know how to sell. I get my money. I didn't think he was going anywhere. Nobody gave him money. I'd be a billionaire right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right. Yeah, you'd have money.
Nobody lent it. He still talks to us. Every time we have a reunion, he goes down, he speaks to younger kids, get them motivated
That's
to do
great.
business.
First
whatever.
of all, great thing that you do that. That's amazing. That they have those reunions. Go talk to the kids. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's great. So I'm trying to get him to do Gustavo shirts now.
Sure.
Gustavo Under Armour.
Right.
Yeah. For those
So,
sweaty
but
days.
there's
you
so
need
many
babies.
people we can get. But so what happened was he
I love
got.
that he said we. He's part of this now.
He didn't, right. He didn't have. He still didn't have. He came up here and got the shirts made, and still didn't have the money. He had a 2-family that he was renting in Georgetown. The upstairs was his living quarters. Downstairs was like his trying to start his marketing for Under Armour and stuff. He still didn't have money to deploy all this stuff. So he calls me. He's like, lend me some money. I said, dude, I just got out of college. I'm mapping the country. I can't give you any money. I said, wait a second, but Plaxico's on the Giants. Eddie's on Tennessee. They know Roger Clemens.
Huh.
Why don't you just send him something and let him try it? As soon as he sent the shirts to the Titans and the Giants, bye-bye.
That's it.
So you
Just told him what to do.
basically
That's all I did.
started Under Armour.
And he just went, phew. Everybody started
crazy.
ordering.
That's crazy.
And then at reunions, he comes up to me and he's like, give me some advice that you probably see that might hurt my business. Don't go up against Nike.
Sure.
They got so much money. I was like, don't do the cleats. Don't do the camouflage. What is he doing?
Cleats and camouflage.
Why is he at $18 when it used to be $150 stock?
Because he didn't listen to
Don't
you.
start with Nike. Just stay away. Let them do their thing. You do your thing.
So what do you got? You got advice for us? I'd like our stock price to go up, please.
Yeah. So Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. So listen. So Fork Union Military Academy at the age of 9, fifth
Right.
grade. Got whipped, tortured, and all that good stuff.
Right.
Parents sign you their rights away. They take care of everything that you want.
Right.
You have to become a professional in some kind of sport.
Sport specifically.
Specifically. So you're doing the military part. And by the way, the interesting part is I think it's the only school in the nation that still has a one subject program.
What does that mean?
So I go in, I'm going to do algebra for 8 hours a day for 8 weeks. No other subjects.
That's kind of brilliant.
It sticks.
Yeah,
Well,
but
sure, it
all-
doesn't
'cause all
sound
you're
great.
doing-
I'm not going to say it sounds
That's
good.
right. You're
It
learning.
doesn't sound good, but it's
It
brilliant.
doesn't sound. It is brilliant.
Okay,
It's
so what are you
brilliant until
doing?
you get to college, and then you get 5 thrown at you. You're like, what am I doing?
Right.
Right.
But you're learning in high school, from 5th all the way to. You had one subject 8 weeks, and you switch.
So you do like English for.
The concentration was there.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it was. It was great. Helped with SATs. Helped. You
could do
That's
arithmetic
probably the
when
only
you
school.
can't spell
Maybe
the
some
word
other
math.
schools have started. You
Yeah,
do it.
It doesn't say the only school, but it does say that it like.
You looked up Fork Union.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called FUMA or Fork Union. You can look up all the top athletes
One
there too.
subject plan. Yeah. So they stay with the teacher all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you get sick of it? Yeah, but you know what? You learn a lot. It sticks.
It's because all you do.
They're beating it into you,
Yeah. Literally.
Literally.
Right.
and you switch it to another
So
one.
would you be bold enough to say that the reason Under Armour is as enormous as it is is because you tried to blow up your teacher. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
And that's called drawing a map to a conclusion.
And in the final twist, your teacher has a grandson who wears Under Armour. There you go.
Well, we could go on for days, telling stories, going back and forth. Maybe we'll do some extras and stuff.
This was awesome.
But I want to put a nice bow on this, and I want to thank you for doing this. You've
Thanks
got
for having me.
a long story, a long storied life.
So good.
So many things. And guys, guess what?
What?
Now we're part of it.
Yeah.
This is part of it.
Well, we
One
should
of
be-
these days, he's going to go tell somebody, yeah, I've done a podcast before. And that's us. It's us.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
No.
Nailed
Here it is.
Nailed it.
Here it is. And
I
you're
listen to
contractually
podcasts all
obligated.
day. It's great.
So you'll listen to this one.
But I wish you guys luck. I think it's a great concept for you guys. You guys are very intelligent and
Wow.
well-rounded.
We have a good
And,
time.
There's plenty of things to talk about going forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Will
can
you
get
come
some-
back
we-
on?
We could get some interesting people. I like to talk about a lot of things.
Good.
Gotta get 'em
We
back.
got time.
There's things that people out there just don't know what's going on.
We're not going anywhere. We'll do some
You
after
guys
darks.
might learn some financially,
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
how to protect yourselves, how to make some extra cash, let the dollar work for you actually instead of you always working for it. They're easy.
If you want to sit down
It's
with
just a-
Danielle, I'll
no,
give it to you
right.
for an evening.
Anytime. It's really easy.
Down.
Definitely.
It's crazy.
All right. So I want to thank you for doing it. And we are going to have you back on.
100%.
But it's been really, really fascinating. And yeah.
100%.
Let's get a round of applause going.
Steve
Thank
Stack,
you, Steve.
international man.
You guys are great.
of this.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production, hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and Tom Zaccheo, and engineered by me, Danielle Rosefisher. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com, and be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.